Hello friends, welcome to my channel Matt's Corner. So today we are back here with an yet another and interesting topic, that is Rolle's theorem and LMVT, that is Lagrange's mean value theorem. So it's a student favorite topic, and it's basically covered under AOD in class 12, but I am here with a short video of to give you just an idea of Rolle's theorem and LMVT. So my name is Tom Bitlia. So let us start with the topic. Okay, so first of all, we will move to Rolle's theorem. So before moving to Rolle's theorem, you must know some basics of continuity and differentiability, so that can help you. Okay, so let us start with the Rolle's theorem. So I am letting fx to be a real function, and a comma b belongs to real numbers, and if so, what are the conditions necessary for Rolle's theorem? I will give the conditions, and then we will read the statement. So what the Rolle's theorem states. Okay, so if fx be a real function and a comma b are all real numbers, so and the first condition, that is fx is continuous in the closed interval ab, and such that fx must be continuous in the interval a comma b. And the second thing is that fx is a differentiable in interval open ab. So the two conditions that are required is, the first condition is that is fx must be continuous in the closed interval a comma b, and the fx must be differentiable in the open interval a comma b. Okay, now what is the third condition? The third condition and the most important condition is that f of a must be equals to f of b. Okay, so if these three conditions are holding, that is, if these three conditions are true, that is fx is continuous, fx is differentiable, and f of a is equals to f of b, then I can say that Rolle's theorem is applicable to fx in the interval a comma b. Okay, so Rolle's theorem is always applicable in some interval. So I can say that Rolle's theorem is applicable in the interval a comma b if these three conditions are true. Now, if these three conditions are true, then there exists at least one number c in the interval open a comma b such that f dash c is 0. So its Rolle's theorem says that if these three conditions are being true, then there exists at least one number, that is c, a real number c in the interval a comma b open, such that f dash of c is 0, that is, the derivative of the function fx is 0 at that point. So, but why is it so? Let us move to that thing. Let us move to the proof. So here I am assuming the graph of fx. I am letting the graph of fx like this. It can be any other type also, but just for the sake of example, I am taking this graph. So let this graph be of y is equals to fx. Okay, this is the graph of y is equals to fx for some function fx and for some real values x comma y. Okay, now suppose this is my a, this is my a, and this is my b, this is my b, and this is my f of a, this is my f of a, and this is my f of b, as a graph is of y is equals to fx. Now this both are of same height, so I can say that f of a is here equals to f of b, f of a is here equals to f of b, and this graph is continuous. It can be seen easily through the graph, that is, it is not breaking anywhere, and it is continuous, and it is also differentiable, as it is smooth curvature is there. So I can say that the all the three conditions are being followed here. It is fx is continuous also in the interval a comma b, it is also differentiable, and also f of a is equals to f of b. Now I can say that Rolle's theorem is applicable in this case. Now let us prove the statement that there exists a point C in the interval a comma b just such that the f dash c is 0. Okay, so let's suppose if a comma b is like this, and then if a f of a is equals to f of b, then the graph will go something like this and come down to b again. Okay, so there must be a point C, let's say it's point C, where the derivative of this is 0, or the slope of the f this graph is 0, because it is turning back to b, because it is turning back to b to reach to f of a is equal to f of b. To satisfy this property, it is turning back again. So when it turn back, when something goes and it turn back, it forms a point of maxima. It forms a point of maxima. It's just for example, so it forms a maximum point. Okay, and that point, the slope is 0, and if slope is 0, then derivative is 0. So let's suppose this is my point, let's say c. So here f dash of c is 0. Here f dash of c is 0. Now we have got a point that c between a comma b such that the derivative is or a slope is 0. So I can say that here Rolle's theorem is doing true, that is c should belongs to open interval a comma b. C should belongs to open interval a comma b. But when I have seen the statement, that is it was given that there is at least one number c. So let us see the case in which not at least one, more than one is given. So more than one numbers exist in the interval a comma b such that f dash of c is 0. Okay, let us see that case. When I think of a graph, something like this, let's say something graph like this. This is my starting point, and it goes this, and come back again here like this. Any graph can be assumed here, and this is my point A, and this is my point B, and it is being given to me that f of A is equals to f of B. It has been given to me that f of A is equals to f of B. F of A is equals to f of B. So when I see and observe this graph is continuous. This graph is differentiable. My diagram is not so good. You can assume that this all are smooth curvatures. So this graph is continuous and as well as this graph is differentiable. So I can say that I can apply Rolle's theorem is here. So when I apply Rolle's theorem here, I will get many points. That's that this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, this point. Okay, so what about this point? This point also the slope is 0. This point the slope is not being 0. No, the slope here is not 0. So let me read the graph. Okay, let me read the graph. So let us assume another graph. Let us assume another graph. Okay, so this is my A and it goes like this and comes down here. So how many points are here where slope is 0? 1 point, 2 point, 3 point and 4 point. So here 4 points are here at which the slope is 0. So here 4 points are here for which f dash x equals to 0. So f dash x equals to 0 has 4 roots. This x has 4 solution. This equation has 4 roots. Okay, so there are 4 points at which f dash x is equals to 0 or the slope of fx is equals to 0. So this is a case of the multiple x where the derivative is 0. So we can take any graph and work according to it. Okay, so this was the Rolle's theorem. This was the theory of Rolle's theorem. Let us move to an example of Rolle's theorem to understand it more better. So let us move to this example. Suppose this is a question that is given to me that if the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 has at least one root in the interval 0 comma 1 open interval it is given, then show that 2a plus 3b plus 6 is 0. Okay, when we see that this question is something of algebra, but this is actually this is a question of Rolle's theorem. So if the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 has at least one root in this interval. So it is given that ax square plus bx plus c is having at least one root in the interval open 0 comma 1. Then I have to show that 2a plus 3b plus 6 is 0. So how can I show it? When I think of Rolle's theorem to being applied here, how can I think of Rolle's theorem? The first thing is that the Rolle's theorem comments on the roots, comments at the point where derivative is 0, or it comments on the point where f dash x is 0, or it comments on the points of the roots of f dash x equals to 0. So, but here the what is being commented, the here the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 has been commented. That is, it rules lies in the interval 0 comma 1. So here can I assume f dash x to be equals to ax square plus bx plus c? Because when I think of Rolle's theorem that the roots have been commented of ax square plus bx plus c. So this must be my f dash x. Okay, so my f dash x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. My f dash x is equals to x square plus bx plus c because in Rolle's theorem the roots that have been commented are of f dash x. Okay, the roots that have been commented out of f dash x. You can see that the roots that have been commented are of f dash x, that is f dash g is equal to 0. So roots of f dash x equals to 0 are commented. So Here the roots of x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 has been commented. So I can say that I can assume that f dash x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. Now how to get my fx? I will just integrate this both sides to get fx is equals to ax cube by 3, ax cube by 3 plus bx square by 2 plus bx square by 2 plus cx plus the integration constant, let's say it's t. Okay, now this is a cubic polynomial. Now this is my fx. This is a cubic polynomial. Now when I think of applying rules, I am done the reverse engineering here. What I have done reverse engineering, I have uh, from f dash x I have got the fx. Now if I see that Rolle's theorem can be applied here or not, here it is a polynomial function, it is cubic polynomial, so it is differentiable everywhere, it is continuous everywhere, and the Rolle's theorem can be applied only and only if the extreme points have their function value equal. So what are the extreme points here? Here 0 and 1 are the extreme points. So here if f of 0 becomes equals to f of 1, here if f of 0 becomes equals to f of 1, then I can apply Rolle's theorem here in fx. And if I can apply Rolle's theorem, when I differentiate this, I will get this thing. And when I get this thing, so by Rolle's theorem, this will have a root between 0 to 1. So here f of 0 must be equals to f of 1 to get our result. So let us put f of 0 equals to f of 1. When I put f of 0, it will become d. F of 0 is d, and f of 1, what will be f of 1? It will be a by 3 plus b by 2 plus c plus d. Okay, it will be a by 3 plus b by 2 plus c plus d. Okay, so I can cancel out d on both sides. I can cancel out d, so d get cancelled out with d. To get a by 3 plus b by 2 plus c is equal to 0, I will take the LCM as 6 to get 2a plus 3b plus 6c. This thing is equal to 0. So transferring 6 there, I get 2a plus 3b plus 6c is going to be 0. 2a plus 3b plus 6c is equal to 0, and hence proved. So this was a short and sweet application of Rolle's theorem. Okay, so I have proved that 2a plus 3b plus 6c is being equals to 0. Okay, now let us move to our next topic, that is Lagrange's mean value theorem. We will do some more practice of questions of Rolle's theorem in our upcoming videos. So before that, let us move to understand Lagrange's mean value theorem, because that this both are connected. Okay, so Lagrange's mean value theorem, or we also call it a LMVT. So it is very much similar to Rolle's theorem. Okay, so here also I'm letting fx be a real function, and a comma b belongs to R, that is that both are real numbers, and if first thing, that is fx is continuous in the interval close a close b, so this is the same method of Rolle's. And the second condition is that fx is differentiable in open interval a comma b. So these two both conditions are same, but here we are not talking about that f of a must be equals to f of b. Okay, so what is the statement? What is the LMPT saying? That if fx is continuous in interval a comma b, and if it is differentiable in open interval a comma b, then what I can say is that I can say that there must exist a point C, a point C between in the interval a comma b, open a comma b, open a comma b, such that f dash of c is 0, such that f dash of c is equals not 0, f dash of c is equals to f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. So it says that if these conditions are true, then there must exist a point c in the interval a comma b, in the interval a comma b, such that f dash c is equals to f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. Let us understand this again. So now this is my graph of y is equals to fx. Let us graph of y is equals to fx. Okay, let's suppose this is my a, and this is my b, and this is my f of a. So if it is y equals to fx, graph is this, so this will be my f of a, and this will be my f of b. So when I let this point, okay, so when I let this point to be p, I'm letting this point to be p, and let this point to be q, let this point to be q. Okay, now when I join this line pq, when I join this line pq, Okay, so when I join this line PQ, I can find out the slope of PQ very easily. So I can find out the slope of PQ very easily. So how can I find out that the slope of PQ, that is m of PQ, I'm writing the slope as m of PQ. This will be equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. That is a slope formula. So what is y2? The y coordinate of Q, that is f of b. So this will be f of b minus y1, that is y coordinate of b, that is f of a, upon x2, that is b, and y, that is x1, that is a. So slope of PQ will be equals to f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. This is my slope of PQ. Now let us take not the arbitrary point. Let us take a specific point. Let's say C. And if the tangent to the curve at C is parallel to the line PQ, is parallel to the line PQ, then what will be the slope of C? That will be f dash of C, f dash of C. If this line if this line is parallel, this line is parallel to this line is parallel to PQ, then I can say that this slope of this purple line and this orange line will be equal, or f dash C, that is slope of this tangent, will be equal to slope of PQ. Now what is my slope of PQ? This is my f of B minus f of A upon B minus A. So here exists one point C in the interval a comma b, that is C belongs to open interval a comma b, such that f dash c is fb minus fa by b minus a. So this C can be anywhere, but here the C is here, so this I have taken any specific point, and this f dash of C is going to be equals to f of b minus f of a by b minus a. Okay, so this is was by LMVT. Now let us understand another thing, that is when I put f of a is equals to f of b. Here if I put f of a is equals to f of b, here if I put f of a equals f of b. Okay, now what will be the graph becomes if I put f of a is equals to f of b? What will my graph becomes like? Okay, so my graph will becomes something like this. My graph will become something like this. This is my f of a is equals to f of b. My this is my a, and this is my b. Now this is a Rolle's theorem only that we have understand in our previous slides. So if I put f of a is equals to f of b, then I will get that f dash of c is equals to 0. F dash of c is equals to 0 for some c belongs to open interval a to b. For some c belongs to open interval a to b. So I can say that in my LMVT, that the result that I've got, if I put f of a is equals to f of b, that is the function value. If I put the function value at two extreme points to be equal, then this will be my Rolle's theorem. So I can say that Rolle's theorem is a special case of LMVT. That is, Rolle's theorem is a special case of Lagrange's mean value theorem. Just put f of a is equals to f of b, or just equals the extreme function values. So you will get the Rolle's theorem. Okay. So this was my f dash is fb minus fa by b minus a, such that c belongs to a comma b open. So this was my Lagrange's mean value theorem. Let us move to an example. I have to prove that the equation x cos x is equals to sin x has a root between pi and 2 pi. So this I will prove using Rolle's theorem. How can I prove this using Rolle's theorem? So I have to prove that x cos x equals to sin x has a root between pi and 2 pi. So how can I prove this? Okay, x cos x is equals to sin x. So this is my equation. It is x cos x is equals to sin x. X cos x is equals to sin x. When I think of this equation, I can transfer the sin x here and the cos x here, or I can transfer x here to get sin x by x, to get sin x by x is equals to cos x. Okay, so let me let this function sin x by x to be fx. Let me let this sin x by x to be fx. Okay, now if my fx is sin x by x. Okay, if I find out roots of f dash x is equals to 0, then that roots must lie between pi and 2 pi. Okay, so let me, this is my fx sin x by x, sin x by x. Now if I think to apply Rolle's theorem, how can I apply Rolle's theorem? And if my fx is equals to sin x by x, now this is my continuous function and this is my differentiable function also. So let me find out the roots of f dash x equals 0. So f dash x will be equals to, I will use my u by v rule. So taking x as common, differentiating side x, it will be x cos x minus taking sin x as common and differentiating x, it will be 1 sin x into 1 divided by x. So this will be my f dash x. Okay, now I want this to be 0. I want this to be 0. Okay, I want this to be 0. So if so, I have taken the function fx and let the function to be sin x by x, and this my sin x by x is equals to cos x. This I have the sin x by x is equals to cos x. Now, as cos x is differentiable and continuous in 0 to in 0 to in pi to 2 pi. What is given to me? It in pi to 2 pi. In pi to 2 pi, it is continuous and differentiable. Okay, in the cos x is continuous and differentiable in the interval pi to 2 pi. This is my graph of cos x. This is my 0. This is my pi by 2. This is my pi, and this is my 2 pi. So it's in between pi by 2 pi. If we draw the only graph of between pi or 2 pi, my graph will be something like this. This my graph will be something like this. So it is continuous and differentiable everywhere in this interval. So I can prove that I can say that cos x is differentiable and continuous in pi to 2 pi interval. So there must exist a point C between this. So when I also think, when I apply f of pi, when I think of to find out f of pi, when I think of f of pi, what will my f of pi? My f of pi will be equals to sine pi by pi. So what is sine pi by pi? It is 0. And when I think of f of 2 pi, if f of 2 pi is also 0, so f of pi is 0, f of 2 pi is 0, and fx is continuous in 0, pi to 2 pi. So there must exist a root of f dash x equal to 0 in the interval pi to 2 pi. So this is my f dash x. Now if there must exist a root of this f dash x equal to 0, what is my f dash x? This is 0. Now if this is 0, then denominator can't be 0, then numerator must be 0. So x cos x minus sin x cos x minus sin x is equals to 0 must have a root between pi to 2 pi. This is my Rolle's theorem. So this must have a root between pi to 2 pi. So if I transfer this, I get that x cos x is equals to sin x must have a root between pi to 2 pi. So this I have proved using Rolle's theorem. Let me recap what I have done. First of all, I have let the function fx is equals to sin x by x, and this is my cos x. And if fx equals to sin x by x and it is cos x, so I think of applying Rolle's theorem here. Okay, so to get the necessary condition for Rolle's theorem to be applied, it must be continuous and differentiable in the interval, and the extreme values must be equal. So I just see that it is differentiable or not differentiable by drawing the graph, and by drawing the graph, I get this, it is differentiable and continuous in pi to 2 pi, because trigonometric functions are differentiable and cos function is differentiable and continuous everywhere, and so it is also continuous in pi to 2 pi. Okay, now with the continuous in pi to 2 pi, let me also take the extreme values. If the extreme values are going to be equal, then I can apply LMVT. So if I check f of pi, I get f of pi as 0 and f of 2 pi is also as 0. So I can apply Rolle's theorem here very easily. Now if Rolle's theorem is applicable here, so f dash x equals to 0 must have a root between this the interval that I chosen, it is pi to 2 pi. Now f dash x is this mine. So this is my f dash x and it must have a root between 0 pi to 2 pi. So when I calculate this f dash x, so equals to 0. So this can't be 0, so this must be 0. So x cos x minus sin x equals to 0 must have a root between pi to 2 pi, or x cos x equals to sin x must have a root between pi to 2 pi, and hence proved. So this I have proved using the Rolle's theorem. Okay, now let us move to our next question. So this is the last question for today. I have to, using LMVT, I have to prove that mod of cos A minus cos B is less than equals to mod of A minus B. Okay, so I have to prove that mod of cos A minus cos B, mod of cos A minus cos B is less than equals to mod of A minus B. So how can I prove this? So I have said to prove this using LMVT. So here I am will be creating a function fx. I will be creating a function fx. Let that function fx to be equals to cos x. That is function fx equals to cos x. Okay, now I will apply the row. I will apply the LMVT here. What LMVT say that for C belongs to A to B. For C belongs to open interval A to B, there exists the solution to this equation. It is f dash g is equals to f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. This is my LMVT. Okay. Now f dash g is equals to f of b minus f of a by b minus a. Now what is my f of b? What is my f of b? My f of b is cos b because my function fx is cos x. So this will be my cos of b. And what is my fa? This will be cos of a. Cos of a. And on denominator I have b minus a. On the denominator I have b minus a. Okay, so now this will be equals to f dash of c for some c belongs to a comma b. By LMVT I can say this. Okay, for some c belongs to a comma b, this will be equals to f dash of c. Now what is my f dash of c? What is my f dash of c? When I differentiate, f dash of x will be equals to negative of sin x. Negative of sin x. Now what is my f dash of c? It will be negative of sin c. So it will be equal to negative of sin c. Now, as in the question, mod is given to me. As in the question, mod is given to me. That is, mod is given to me. So I will, if this is equals to this, and the mod of this quantity will be equals to mod of this quantity. Okay. Now what will be this thing? Cos b minus cos a by b minus a. So I can multiply numerator and denominator by minus one to give null effect. So this will become cos b minus cos a. I can write down as cos a minus cos b, and I have changed. If I have multiplied minus one on the numerator, I will also multiply minus 1 to the denominator, so it will become a minus b. Okay, this thing mod of this thing will be equals to mod of negative sine c. Mod of negative sine c. Now what is my mod of negative sine c range? So if mod of negative sine c must be less than equals to 1, this thing must be less than or equals to 1, because sine of anything must be less than equals to 1. So I, from this I get that cos mod of cos a minus cos b upon a minus b must be less than equals to 1. Must be less than equals to 1. So I will can transfer this. I can write down this as a mod of cos a minus cos b upon mod of a minus b upon mod of a minus b. This thing must be less than equals to 1. Or I can transfer this a minus b on this side, to get our required result, that is mod of cos a minus cos b is less than equals to mod of a minus b. Okay, so this was a good question using LMVT to prove. Okay, so this I have proved using LMVT, and this was a good question. Okay, so thanks for watching, and the next video will be some problems on Rolle's theorem and LMVT, and at 2 to 3 I will do problem solving sessions on LMVT and Rolle's theorem and some questions of AOD. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you're not subscribed my channel yet, keep subscribe it, and keep liking and keep sharing. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.